When you hear the word blockchain, your mind probably jumps straight to crypto, right? But what if that exact same technology could revolutionize something way more personal, your health? So today, we're going to dig into how blockchain is getting ready to completely change how we manage, own, and secure our most sensitive information, our medical data.
So let's just kick things off with a really simple question. Who actually owns your medical records? You'd probably say, I do, of course. But the answer, well, it's a lot messier than you'd think. And that mess is the exact problem we're about to dive into.
Okay, so let's get into it. The way our health information is handled right now, it's a real dilemma. We've got this system that's completely fractured, fundamentally divided, and it often works against the very people it's supposed to be helping.
See, there's this huge disconnect between what we need as patients and what the system actually gives us. On one side, what we want is pretty simple, right? We want easy access to our own records, we want control over who gets to see them, and we want to know that they're private. But the reality? It's the complete opposite. Our data is trapped in these separate, siloed hospital systems. It's not always secure, and getting a complete picture of it all in one place is, well, it's basically impossible.
And look, this isn't just about being inconvenient. It's a deep, systemic problem. It doesn't matter if it's old-school paper files for vaccinations or modern digital hospital databases, the issues are the same. You've got simple human errors causing all sorts of inaccuracies. It's actually possible for records to be tampered with. Someone could access your sensitive files, and it might be totally untraceable. And because your information is scattered everywhere, your doctor, your insurer, your pharmacy, and none of them are properly connected, putting together a complete picture of your health is a nightmare. So the big question is, how do you fix a system that's so fundamentally broken? Well, the big idea, the proposed solution, is this technology that's kind of like a universal digital notary for all of our health information. So let's actually talk about what a blockchain is.
The most important part is right here in this definition. First, it's a distributed database. That means no single company, no single person controls it. It's shared. And second, once a piece of information is added, it cannot be altered, ever. That's what makes it immutable. It can't be changed. It's basically a permanent digital ledger that no one can secretly edit.
And if you want to simplify it even more, just picture an actual chain. Each link in that chain is a block, and it holds a piece of your data, maybe a doctor's visit or a prescription you filled. Then, each new block is locked onto the last one using some seriously powerful math. It's cryptographically locked, creating this unbreakable digital chain of your entire health history.
So how do you add a new link to that chain? Well, the cool part is how transparent and secure the whole process is. First up, a request is made. Let's say your doctor wants to add your latest lab results. That request is then broadcast out to a whole network of computers. Those computers all work together to validate the information, to make sure it's legit. And only after it's been confirmed by the network does that new, permanent block get added to your chain for everyone with permission to see.
And this, right here, is the absolute key difference. Think about your typical hospital database. It's in one place, it's centralized, and it's controlled by an administrator who can go in and edit or even delete things. A blockchain is the opposite. It's decentralized, spread out over many computers, and you can only add to it. You can't go back and secretly change the past. And that, right there, is the key to building trust.
All right, so that's the theory. Kind of cool, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? How could a healthcare system really run on this kind of technology?
Oh man, the potential here is just huge. We're talking about a single, secure health record that you actually control. We're talking about medical supply chains where you can trace every single piece of equipment from the factory to the hospital, being able to verify that drugs aren't counterfeit. You could even use it to instantly check a doctor's credentials or to stop billing fraud in its tracks. The possibilities really could transform everything.
And just to be clear, the stakes here are incredibly high. The World Health Organization says that 1/10 of all medicines in the world are counterfeit. I mean, that's staggering. Blockchain gives us a way to create a totally transparent, tamper-proof record of a drug's entire journey, from manufacturing to your local pharmacy, making sure that what you get is the real deal.
So just picture this for a second. Imagine a future where you walk into a new doctor's office, and with your permission, they have your entire medical history right there at their fingertips, securely, instantly. No more filling out the same forms over and over again. Just smooth, informed, patient-first healthcare.
Let's look at something as simple as a hospital admission. Right now, it's a total nightmare, right? They can't find your old records, everything is done by hand, so there's a huge potential for mistakes, and there's zero coordination between departments. With blockchain, that all gets flipped on its head. Your past records can be pulled up instantly. Any updates happen in real time for everyone to see, and finally, the whole system, from your insurance company to the hospital pharmacy, is actually integrated.
And hey, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. Big names are already doing this. The Mayo Clinic is using blockchain for clinical trials. You've got giants like Pfizer and AstraZeneca using it to secure their drug supply chains. Even Canadian Blood Services is tracking blood products this way. The shift is already happening.
Okay, so we've got to be real here. This isn't some magic bullet that's going to fix everything overnight. It's really important to look at the pretty significant challenges that are standing in the way of this becoming the new normal.
And the hurdles really are big. First off, this stuff is really expensive and super risky for big hospitals to implement. Then you've got the question of scale. Can this technology really handle the massive amount of health data for millions and millions of people? And maybe the biggest challenge of all is trying to get this brand new tech to play nice with the ancient, decades-old computer systems that most of the healthcare world is still running on.
But if we can get past those challenges, the future we're looking at isn't just about making hospitals run smoother. It's about creating a whole new health economy, one where your data finally starts creating value for everyone, especially for you. Because here's the wild part, our health data is incredibly valuable. Let this sink in. Way back in 2009, the market for our health data being sold to research companies was already worth over $6 billion. Can you even imagine what that number is today? And we, the patients, we see basically zero of that.
This is where blockchain could be a total game changer. We could create systems where we choose to share our anonymous data for medical research, helping speed up amazing breakthroughs, and maybe even get rewarded for it. We could unlock the massive power of our collective health data and do it securely.
And what this all leads to, really, is a fundamental shift in how we think about medicine. When you have better, more accessible, more complete data, you can start to move away from just treating people when they're sick and move towards a model of proactive, preventative care that's focused on keeping whole communities healthy in the first place. Which really brings us full circle, back to that central idea. This whole thing is about putting the keys to your own health back in your hands. It's about giving you control, giving you security, and giving you real ownership over your most personal information. So I'll just leave you with this question. If you held those keys, what new possibilities for your own health would you unlock?